Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, thank you. I'm all right.
Good. Just sitting doodling there.
What you doing? You drawing? Oh,
More doodling.
I like
I
it.
had when I was in a meditation, I could see this image, and I'm trying to recreate it because I'm like, oh, that was such a cool image that I could see, and I'm
Aye,
trying to. It's not coming out the way that I can remember it.
aye. That's quite cool. I like that. I've got like a giant whiteboard.
Yeah.
So literally, like, see this couch? It's like bigger. It's like massive. So I'll do things on that. And I try and I've took it off, but I need to put it back on. I try and work from like a Ben Nevis idea. So like
Yeah.
my my life's as if I'm climbing up Ben Nevis.
Amazing.
Being visual, being visual helps a lot. Uh, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because I'm not usually a visual person.
Mhm.
But I was away at the weekend on a retreat, and we did a lot of awakening consciousness, and now I'm more like the visuals are now coming through, and I'm like, oh, this is scary. It's scary but cool but weird.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's cool. So thank you so much for coming on.
It's all right. It's all right. It's been a bizarre time. I was on, keep getting asked to talk. I like, nobody
That's good. So you must be saying something that people are like, I want to know more.
I don't know what it is. I've no idea. I think,
Because you were on with Mandy this week
yeah,
at
uh,
Mrs. Braintree. I haven't listened to that podcast yet because I saw that she was on, and I was like, God, we keep having the same guests on, but that's totally fine. So I intentionally didn't listen to it so that this conversation is just however it is, rather than me going, oh well, he said this on this, so let's explore that or whatever.
no, like that. Don't know. I've been because the thing is, here like on Instagram and that, I've been talking for a long time, like about all sorts. And it was actually the last year or two that I stopped. Like I kind of took myself, no stopped because I'm still active on it, but done less.
Yeah.
Kind of like serious videos, if that makes sense. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's told, but it helped me as well. I was just used that as a platform just to let it out,
Yeah.
and it was something that scared me. So, uh,
Yeah. That being vulnerable is
aye.
it's we're not, especially when you live in Scotland, you're not taught to be vulnerable. It's discouraged actively.
It is. It really is. And if you actually, you can, there's so many bits of life, sport, activities that when you see when people are vulnerable, it kind of, when you understand what it means, I think it's the lack of understanding. They think of vulnerable weakness, like you're going to like shut yourself off, you're not going to stand up for yourself, all this stuff, but that isn't what it means.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember when I've used to go for NLP coaching. So I went through a divorce about 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago. And after that, I'd gone into this phase of I'm absolutely fine because the marriage breaking up was the right thing for both of us. Like
mhm,
it was totally amicable.
yeah,
But because of that, I didn't feel like I could grieve it. And so I went partying. I did a full 9 months in the Archies. And then I had a breakdown because I had bottled everything up and suppressed it, and then I just like had total meltdown. So I was going for the NLP, and I remember Brian saying to me, he's like, you need to be vulnerable. And I was like, I don't even know what that means. Like I had to literally go away and look it up and start researching it. Read like Brene Brown's book and watched her TED talk and stuff just to try and understand what that actually meant, because like that, the words just meant weakness to me as far as I was concerned, where actually it's the power and strength of it is, you're like, ah, it's unreal.
it's incredible because I seen the Brenny Brown like, videos, and
Mm,
it's funny because you see, I think it's one where it was when she was doing the second one. So when she done the first one, then she was aware of how popular it was becoming,
yeah,
and she was like getting scared when it was starting to like hit views. So
yeah,
you see somebody who's telling you to be vulnerable, and it's like I think everything's a bit of a cycle. Because like when I've had therapy or counselling, like your counsellor will effectively they're a human being as well, so they'll need
yeah,
counselling and different things. And I think sometimes you think that see when you hear that imposter syndrome thing, Think that, if I'm meant to be showing people this, but then I'm struggling. No, we're all meant to. We're not all struggling, but we're all meant to have a struggle.
Yes.
It's not as simple as that, and I think that makes it easier to understand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Because I teach Pilates and yoga, and I've worked in fitness for the last 10, 15 years. And I get diagnosed with Crohn's in 2017. And to me, that was like, oh my God, everything that I've been teaching people has been wrong, because look how I've broken my body. And then I had all this guilt and shame with it. And any time I start to have a flare, the last couple of times I've tried to hide it, I'm like, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, because I feel like I shouldn't have these symptoms, because I'm all about looking after your health and being calm and meditated. But real life happens to all of us. So
yeah,
it's being able to ride the waves of it.
yeah, that's
It's
it.
like shit will happen, and you ride that wave, and then things will pan out and it'll be okay. And then the next wave comes in, and you keep getting back on your board.
Right, yeah, you need to save that.
I will trademark it.
Aye, definitely.
I'm sure I've stolen that from somebody else though.
No, no,
So many teachers over the years.
I would save that.
I will. So what I did was I just hit record from the very start, because see, when you have like conversations with people, quite often you get these really brilliant conversations, and then you hit record and then they never come back. So I can just, any bits that are said that you want edited out, I can edit them out and let you hear it before it goes out, if you want.
I'm all good. You do. As long as I don't sound really bad.
Wait to the end and then decide, well, at that old, I want to delete that wee bit out. So now that we've had this random brief chat about vulnerability and stuff, why don't you not introduce yourself to people that are listening?
Okay. Yeah. This is the vulnerable bit. This is.
What's your name?
My name is, well, my actual full name is Anthony O'Neil, or Tony O'Neil.
Yep.
I am from Uddingston, now View Park, which is just next to each other. And I run a sportswear and fightwear brand called Animalia Apparel, and a community interest company called Animalia CIC. So they are basically brother and sister, brother, whatever you want to call it. They're a wee family. The main objective of that is to sell loads of clothing, make lots of money, and use all that money for good for the kit, and actually to give back to people. And that's it, really. I'm saying that's it. There's probably a lot more to it, but it's been some journey. I never envisioned having a business, never mind a retail fashion sportswear business.
Yeah. So what got you into that then?
I felt literally like I've always been quite creative. I was good at art at school. I'm colourblind, so colours are just that's a good laugh in itself. But I've always been creative and just liked, like we spoke about vision there. I can the things I can see going on in my head and how things works, just like I used to not understand it, and now I'm just loving it. When I just get lost in the bubble, like I can just when I speak to people how Animalia's worked over the years, you can just see them looking at me like as if they're trying to work out like a mad maths equation. But in my head, it's just normal. It's just I think that it goes there, it fits with that, person, it can do this, it can do that. That's how my brain's just going constantly.
Yeah.
And as I was started the process, it went for Tony's boot camps. We had a design where it was literally me running up a hill, which it's so ironic because I was never into hill walking when I done that. Yeah, that was the thing. So it's just funny how that kind of works out. And somebody designed like a line logos. As I found that the name Animalia, I used to say a thing called Unleash the Animal, and animal stuck out when I was trying to think of a fitness idea.
Yeah.
Animal, I went on Wikipedia and the name animal was there, and then I looked down and then it says the kingdom of Animalia. So Animalia means a kingdom. Animalia is a group of living things within the kingdom of Animalia. So things that are living, breathe, and have soul. So we are actually technically Animalia. Like,
Yeah.
that's how. And I just thought the whole idea of the whatever the organisation what we're trying to do was to help people. So
Yeah.
no matter who you are, where you're from, and then somebody designed it on a different logos. The one the kind of line, the more line main thing won, and then since then it got designed onto a t-shirt, just a mock-up, not even I didn't ask for it, it just the guy done it, and then took that idea, showed loads of kids and young people. I worked as a sport development worker at the time, and then it just grew arms and legs. It just totally the work I was doing in Royston at the time, it was around about 2016. So I'd been in Royston Youth Action for 3 years, and I went to uni and studied sport and active lifestyle promotion.
Mm-hmm.
We were well aware of the Commonwealth Games bid first, and then when it happened, and I'm laughing because I get some views on that, but I really enjoyed the Commonwealth.
I love to hear people's views and stuff.
I just it's they done what they done to get the bid. I get it, but the legacy hasn't been what they said it would, and it's far better. And I'm not doubting there was clever people behind it, but just some of the simple things they could have just done, i.e., opening services, open buildings, like it, just a simple thing like that could have drove footfall. And then if you're looking to get payment or whatever, you can manage that, but rather than just cut things off. I know the bills to pay, but if a building's not getting used, because you know there are people in it. So
exactly, and then that will in turn eventually bring money back, because it's that I can never say that word, that reciprocity. I can't ever say that word. But when you give out, you get back 10 times more. So
definitely, it makes you aware of what's going on, and then if there was people using it and you charged them £1, then do you know what I mean? So, but we went through the Commonwealth Games thing, and then I learned about that. We're taught to be critical about things, have an opinion, and then learn. We're taught to you need to try and be a sponge. I was already like that. I've always been like that, want to learn, but and as things. So knowing that, doing that kind of work, that degree, and then Royston, I knew that funding was a massive issue. Also, as well, it's like there's with what we do, we can be sustainable. There's like a goal and a vision there for like even 2024. We need to break it down more, but you're talking about vast amounts of money, and that I've never been about money. I've never understood it. When I done this, I didn't realise the importance of money, and what I mean by that is to be sustainable. That's it. To be able to have an impact. Because if you're not making anything and you're trying to rely on things, it's got to be quite challenging. And when the designs get made, I knew, right, could we sell this kit to fund youth work, to fund community work, to fund adults who are maybe like depression or any mental health issues? Could we fund that to try and help them become engaged to life again, like as opposed to just medication? I'm not on medication myself, but I think it has its place. But I think they can go hand in hand, like just get people out and about. So, and then I also understood that athletes, like Scottish athletes, that there's funding pots out there for certain sports, and then other sports it's lower and lower and lower, and then there can be like Commonwealth athletes, Olympic athletes that just don't have much money, yet they're the top athletes in the country, and
having to do it full time as well with very little money.
They do it full time. They do a lot of travelling. It's not this. That's somebody's dream. That's what's they do that because it's in there. It's bumped in there. It's their desire. It's what they're And they talk about motivation. They're not motivated. They're just dedicated. They're just relentless.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
they turn up when they're not motivated.
Yeah.
They're the type of people that, like, I could say that I was a talented football player. I was a good football player. And if I'd done this, this, and this, I could have made it. No, I didn't do that. But
Aye.
I didn't put the effort in. I quit when I could have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I clearly
They're
would.
very much living their purpose. It's like when you hear people talk about what's your purpose, and loads of people don't know, but those people that will show up regardless, whether it's an Olympic athlete or whether it's the street cleaner or whether it's the CEO of a business, if you are showing up regardless, then you're living your purpose.
That's it. Totally.
Yeah.
And you see that, and the beauty that people like that have on other people, even like myself, is like I just go wow, because they're doing. And then if you actually get chatting to somebody like that, that can help you feel good. You can learn something. Maybe you carry that in your life. So I thought, with a brand, if I get athletes in the kit, support them and their journey, even if it was an income, even a small income, and then helping them maybe get a bigger reach themselves. That was the idea back then, and it still is. It's no changed. And we even had the idea of, and it's funny that, because there's people that have done it before us, but when I was thinking about like influencers, I just called it, I want to work with real people. So now I understand you can say like it's a micro influencers or something like that.
Yeah.
I've said this, maybe not in public as much as I should have, or maybe I don't know, but I've always believed, see, micro influencers, like if that's what you want to call somebody, I just call it a person that does some cool shit and you like them. But talking the terminology, micro influencer, I think that, see the folk that can engage and just like you see them just loving doing what they're doing, or it is challenging but they're still doing it, or they talk about it, they share things. That's who is an influencer. And real people wearing the stuff. That's it. And we know that we can maybe look to work with some other people that can help build the brand awareness, but there's a reason for that then, because then if we work with other people that we can reach more people, we can actually tell them the proper message. So that was the goal right for the start. The Ben Nevis 24-hour challenge, the same thing. Why is it 24-hour challenge? Because everybody claims Ben Nevis. So if you tell people it's a 24-hour challenge, they're just like, what? Like,
so is that how many times you're climbing Ben Nevis in those 24 hours?
Just try to, you'll just try to go for it.
And how many have you've done? Was it 4 times in 24 hours?
No, 27 and a half. So I've still got a bit to go, but
I've done it once.
I can see the look in your face as well.
I'm like that. Oh, that one time was enough. I don't think I could have been doing that for 24 hours. I'd have got to the car park and be like, I'll catch you in another 16 hours.
You know what? And that I felt like that. And when I even had the idea for that, I'd never done it before. I'd done it once, and I hadn't even done proper hills. And I just thought, 10 months, I think I can climb Ben Nevis as many times as I can in 24 hours. I just
Why not, eh?
I could. And then thankfully other people thought they can. And that's the beauty of that. That's what that's about as well. It's no, there's things that I'm glad I've started and I'm proud, but I've also joined something else that somebody else has created as well. You know what I mean? So I think I'll always create things and I've always have a vision, but I also like other people's things that they come up with. And I'll join that.
Collaboration stuff.
You can't beat it. You cannot beat it. And that's part of even that with Animalia, that where it really was born. The root of it is family, like mum, dad, my brother, and then seeing like working in areas, working in Royston, I've worked in Govan, I've worked in Girvan, Ayrshire, Stirling, Falkirk, with Ben Nevis. That's not kind of working up there, but I've been up there a lot, and I've seen all different places, and it all comes down to connecting with each other and working together all the time. It has to, even an athlete I'll keep going back to the athlete analogy, like even a boxer. A boxer's
Yeah.
an individual in a ring, a fighter's an individual, judo, individual, and they need to be doing what they can, but they've also got somebody around them as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's what another thing is, that's all I kind of wanted with this, was just to have something, create something, and then just to be part of it.
Yeah.
Just happy to
Yeah.
be part of it. I'm no, and
So
other people start talking and that about it, I'm happy with that.
yeah. So as much as you are the leader because you've created it, it's not this is mine. It's like this is ours. So it's more that's again that collaborative, bringing it in, so that it's always based around community rather than a sense of hierarchy.
Aye, it has to be like, you can have leaders, but you can have leaders within that. And
Yeah.
obviously, I still have I can make decisions. However, even the team we've got, I kind of like somebody, like we've got Soph working in retail, and she'll say things, and we can, like, I can. There's been times where we've had like disagreements, or we
Yeah.
disagree with them, but it's also a lot of respect there. We just talk about it, and it's great because I love it. Because when you disagree, and then somebody you're like, oh, or that you get a difference of opinion, and you're allowed to have these conversations. You're allowed a bit of conflict. Like, you can't just, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to be open to hear what somebody's saying. But and there's even other things where if Sophie said she thinks this, and that, I'm like, you do it. If that's what you go for it, like, it's aye,
Yeah.
you know what you're doing, batter in.
Yeah.
And same with Craig, I've got working in the brand development, the social impact side, and then just like people wearing it. Like, so if I've got, we're making clothing for kids, so if it's all well me trying to figure out what to do, even Sophie as well, and Craig, whoever. But see if you don't find out what the kids are actually liking and the parents, you
Yeah.
don't really know then what you're doing. You need to really hear that, take that for them. So I'm learning all the time. I'm open to that. I'm open to hearing what people think, if it's good, if it's rubbish, if it does this, does that, whatever it is. It's always helpful.
So that you're then developing the best thing that you can.
That's it. And you're keeping that, and then you can develop that, and then you develop your message and how you do that.
Yeah.
I've even, it's took me a long time improved how I articulate things, but it's still an ongoing process.
Yeah.
It's still an ongoing thing. Even my views on how I worked with in youth work and how I used to deal with people, I definitely can be a lot calmer about it now, and
Yeah.
and understand it a wee bit. Maybe not get as frustrated, but
Yeah.
again, I'll get frustrated. I'm still a human being. Aye. Uh,
Yeah, it's all part of that journey of being a human being, that learning and growing, and you have maybe a very specific way of thinking about things because of how your family are or how your education has been or what other influences you have, and then when you can get a moment where you can just stop and listen to somebody else and try and see things from another person's point of view, that you can then start to go, oh right, okay, oh right, okay, maybe my way is not always the best way, even though you really want it to, because that would be easier. But having that willingness to just go, let's be a bit more fluid, and then somebody else will come along with another idea, and it's remembering to stop and listen to them as well, and being allowed to, like you say, have those opposing opinions, because like you notice in social media how people either live in this little echo chamber of everybody thinks exactly the same way as them, or they just want to absolutely annihilate somebody with a different opinion. And it's like, why don't you not just sit and listen to each other?
mhm. Yeah,
Like,
I'm with
open
you.
your ears.
I'm totally
Yeah.
with you. Because what ends up happening is, because you don't like what somebody says, you actually then take away even some value that they would say. So literally, I'm learning that I can literally not like a person. Right, there's certain people out there, but see if they actually say something that makes sense, I can hear that now without
Yeah.
just thinking, no, they're just because you don't like them. It's not an easy thing to do, um, and I think I've analysed this. I'm always thinking about stuff, and getting these wee bubbles, and just think that, so even the situation now with COVID, Brexit, US elections,
Yeah.
see if you really wanted to pick fights, it'd be so easy. See if you wanted to just have nobody to talk to, it would be dead easy. Because see if you, in talking even food, even like somebody that's vegan, somebody that loves meat, somebody that environmental, climate change. Now even all that is so that you could have somebody that does certain things and they see somebody else doing something else and they just like, no, I don't like you, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, you don't really know why they're making these choices. Like it's hard. Like some people can make certain choices to do with food and they try it and it actually makes them unwell. So they might need to still do the thing that somebody's like, no, you can't eat that, that's harming this. But that actually the person has tried and like it makes them unwell. So what do you do then? Do they just need to be unwell because and I think it's even, you see it. I'm a people person. I love people. And my purpose or whatever you want to call it is I want to try and help people. Now, if I focus on people, then somebody goes, what about climate change? And I'm just like, right, somebody else has got that. Somebody else is doing that bit. Right, but I don't think it. What about the people? Because you can save one bit, but then others. So
I fear you're destroying something else.
that's just that's how I've been brought up. That's just my life experiences. It's just how we all fit. Do you know what I mean? It's hard because there's people that I've got that support different football teams. You know, in Glasgow, there's two teams, and I support one, and I've actually got a lot of good pals on the other side.
Yeah.
And
I live in a house. Well, I don't live with my parents anymore, but my dad is on one side and the rest of us are on the other. We still like him. We still let him come in the house. But the way we have it is we have to be willing to take a bit of a slagging if there's a football match on and one team wins over the other. You're just like, okay, whatever.
So
you respect that. That's just, people are different.
Yeah, it's kind of like I've got a friend that he decided to go vegan, and he done it because he watched things and educated himself, and that totally turned him, right. I've watched the same things and it's had an impact. I've changed some of my eating habits, like even with dairy, stuff like that. However, I still eat certain things, but I wasn't put off to the level he was. You know what I mean? But when I was younger, my mum used to smoke, had a cigarette sitting in the ashtray, went up to the toilet and I tried to smoke it. I've never smoked ever. I've never smoked since. So it's very easy we can be, and it was somebody recently that taught me this about outraged. We can be very outraged by things and unjust, but you don't really know why that person's doing certain things.
And there has to be an element of balance in it as well, because, for example, with the veganism, if everybody is vegan, what do you do with all the animals? Right? Because the animals are going to multiply. So then the population of animals gets out of control if you just let them go and do what they're going to do. And then you've got all the sheepskin and all the wool and all the stuff that you can make use of so that everybody's comfortable. Because the alternative is everything has to be man-made, which is then going to damage the environment. So there's this whole, I get why people don't want to eat animals. I personally don't eat animals either. I don't like it. It makes me feel sick. I can't chew meat. It just is not, it's just not my thing. But my partner does. He the other day made soup from a bone and I was like, that's gross, mate. But I would never object to it because the bone needs to get used. Otherwise it just sits there and does whatever it does. So it's finding the balance of do what's right for you and don't pass your expectations on to other people.
It's so hard because even that, I know that there's studies, and you can help me here, even vitamin B12 is something that you need. Is that true? You would need that if you don't eat meat and you don't eat. So
I supplement with it.
So if everybody went vegan, everybody would need to supplement that vitamin B12. Now, where are they going to get all the resources to do that? Because then it comes does that mean it's more plastic? Does that mean it's this, that? Like, you're
Yeah,
then
yeah. Everything has a cost.
it's got to get produced, so it'll use water, it'll use, the sun needs to get grown, it'll then chemicals in the air. Like, it's a whole, I think that the way I look at it is that with evolution, that's getting a bit deep here, it's just that maybe we've evolved to make things. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
so like whenever it was when we made first discovered fire,
Yeah,
why is that not the same equivalent as like a laptop? Because it's just evolved. We've
yeah.
just, do you know what I mean? It might,
Mhm.
because it's like a thing and it's electronic, but that's where we've
It started from somewhere.
went. So it's, oh, you could get into this. This is a, you could get up with this, couldn't you? I've learned a lot. We even try to figure out how to get a product, what to do, and it's it's no easy at all, because I sometimes get worried about, right, so I'm having a good impact here, but I'm having a negative impact here, and it's hard.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Running a clothing brand and something is, I'm learning every day, like literally learning every day, every year. That's been 4 years, and still at the start of it, and still
yeah,
getting surprised at how you hear things, how things operate, good and no just negative, good things as
yeah,
well. Um, it's just, it's a journey. It certainly
yeah.
is. Um,
And I think if you're always doing the best you can with the knowledge you have in this moment and accept that and don't judge yourself on tomorrow's knowledge yesterday, it's like you just
yeah, you're
you're
right.
at, you're you'll drive yourself nuts doing it.
You're
So
totally,
I remember having a conversation with somebody about, and it was about dairy, and I had said, "Oh, you can make your own almond milk," because they didn't want to go and buy the other milk because it comes in these cartons that can't be recycled. And I was like, "We can make your own almond milk." I then got a lecture from somebody about how much water was involved in growing almonds, and I was just like, I have to pick my battles.
you do.
I have an allotment and I grow vegetables. I'm doing my bit for the environment. I'm all right with the water for the almonds.
You really do. I think that's it. You really need to pick your battles, definitely, because
Mm.
we can't be perfect. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
And then
Uh,
what is perfect, and who defines what perfect is?
exactly.
It's yeah, it's crazy. So this is actually going to lead nicely on to the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. I saw in your post on Instagram the other day that you were 500 days sober.
Hmm.
Where did that come? Like, was that a conscious decision? Did that just happen? Like, how did that come about?
I've been I've been trying to talking about staying off it for like since I was 18, honestly. Like, so that's what am I now? 25? No, 35. So that's 17 years.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. So it's just something I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being drunk. I'm not even got a kid on. I enjoyed being
yeah,
drunk. I enjoyed the other things as well, the other illegal substances. Probably enjoyed that more, to be honest, and actually had a, it affected me less, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was actually more compos mentis, and I don't know if anybody would believe that, but
I would have a whole conversation with you about the legality of alcohol and cigarettes versus the illegality of a lot of the substances. Like, doesn't make sense.
no, it doesn't. And I think that culturally, I can't say that. How do you say that?
Yeah,
Well,
culturally.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I think it's just how it's accepted in society, and how when you hit an age, you do this, and when it's a celebration, you have a drink. When it's a Tuesday, you have a drink. When it's a communion, a christening, which always baffles me, I'm not gonna lie.
funerals as well.
Aye,
Like,
um, and it's something that I enjoyed. It gave me confidence. I was always quite shy. I would never have done this for a start.
yeah,
Um, Social media or the daft stuff I do, but I was extremely shy, extremely insecure. You name it, man. I was it. And but when I had a drink, I was more who I wanted to be. If that makes
yeah.
sense, dancing
Hmm.
about, having fun, I would, I would, I would just leave my pals and go and talk to people.
Yeah.
Not even that, and I wasn't even the mature stage for like relationships, girls, and that never came to us like my 20s. I was a late bloomer, and
Yeah.
uh, alcohol was my friend, and my family were has had a lot of alcohol issues and challenges, and I seen that growing up. I was aware of that, and it left me feeling just the fear. I never really understood it. I did cry a lot. I think I've spoken about this. That I did. I think people realise the extent of where my head was at for a long time. My mum seen it all. Like I'm talking about like a teenage boy, 18, 19, then early 20s, crying, like, and just being angry about life.
Yeah.
So it was a cycle. It was just a vicious, and it seemed to be that the happy points were when I went out and you got on it and you had your cider and blackcurrant with a double Baileys. That was my like that was my thing. And
In
then
the one glass.
no, at least separate.
I was going to say that with Cordo.
There's some. I probably did try that. To be fair, I would have. And it was just round about me. I never felt. I felt different to my pals. It wasn't their fault. Like, they didn't know. They were just young boys as well. And did speak to them a couple of times, and some of them seemed me really like worried about me. And then as I got older, 20s, I kind of started. I got into a few things like I ended up basically battering one of my pals. It happened a few times, wasn't like I see it, but I done it, and all I remember is literally him like below me,
Yeah.
changed, and I was just like, "This isn't right, man. This isn't." And that
was
was
alcohol fueled.
aye, and I didn't only can flash see that bit,
Yeah.
and then I kind of stopped and started, and then some of my behaviour wasn't great, especially to my mum, and it just I'm not proud of these things. It's like you feel like a bit of a scumbag. This isn't me. I'm no don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. It's me that done it. It's me that it's other people that went through it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get the brunt of it, and so I think that's why I can maybe a wee bit empathetic to people who do things, but
Yeah.
there's no condoning it for a start, because you need to really think of what you're doing, and it then became in a relationship, and that wasn't the best. Like we drank together, just wasn't good. And then after that, I think it was like 2017. That's when I really started trying to become sober properly.
Yeah.
I wasn't dependent on alcohol. Like I didn't crave it. It's just that when I done it, it was just woofed.
Yeah.
And then the feeling after, I was on sertraline there in 2017, so I kind of had to stop more.
Right.
And I just started doing that. But when I was younger, the battle I had was people. People like, just have a drink. What you know drinking for? What you know? And because I was so snappy, I couldn't articulate it properly. I would just be like, "Get the fuck!" Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't the way to do it, because and whereas now I don't even need to do it. And if anybody even threw anything at me, I'd be like, talking to me? Like, no. Like,
Just you're so comfortable in it now that
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so comfortable in my own skin, and that's where I found myself. Like I worked in America, and I worked with kids and adults with disabilities, and that was very intense, what an intense learning experience. You're doing like full care for people, total care that I'd always been scared of, and people were relying on you. You had to be responsible, but you also had to be fun. You also had to make camp, like basically we're told that this is like a camper's Disney World. You need to make this the best week of their life. And you're like, ah, cool, let's do it, let's sing, let's do. So you had to do all these things sober. You had to sing daft songs, dances. See what I'm saying? Daft songs. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And things like that. Realise that you can be yourself. And that group of people probably understood me more than I understood myself, because that group of staff were there to work with people with all different needs. So
Yep.
the perfect environment to feel safe, secure, kind of like the whole hierarchy of needs thing. That was where I think, whoa, that was like an epiphany thing that I realised that it's all right to be certain ways. And then
It's good to do it in another country as well, because you're completely taking yourself out of your environment that you're used to.
aye, and you see
Yeah.
how you really respond and how you are and how you interact and what you like. And it was just amazing. And learning that, then I started becoming far more comfortable in my own skin. And then going through the sober 2017, 18, was doing it more. The gaps were getting wider, and
Yeah.
then we do it and then start again. And then the last one was even like 2019. The times I drank weren't even like, it's not like anything happened, anything negative. And even see when I was at camp, the funny thing is when I was at camp, drank that many times, I never done anything, like nothing negative. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
these negative things. My friends were always very honest with me. All they remember is me being a happy drunk. That was it.
Yeah.
Literally. I still ask them all the time when I talk to them, you tell me the truth, but uh, but aye, so but it's still no good for me because I could be that guy, I could be an absolute prick. So I'd rather not do it.
Yeah.
And so just made that decision last year, and it's been relatively easy. If I'm being honest, it's no, but I think it's because I'm more comfortable in my own skin. It's been easier because the group of people don't really question it, and they can ask me things, but it's not going to change me. I think they know. See, because I'm now more aware of boundaries,
Yeah.
set boundaries, quite firm. No, you're really, and then I think because of the work I've done, all the youth work, I've worked with, I don't know, hundreds of kids and young people over the years. You need to develop a thick skin to that. You need to be able to
Mhm.
banter. You need to be
Yeah.
kind of like a wido in a nice way.
Aye.
So I'm a pure wido. Like I'm a proper pure wido. Nobody will probably. Well, if you're going to be wide to me and try to challenge it, just be prepared. That's it.
Aye.
And it's a nicer way to be rather than try to like be angry. But so I think it's just it was that journey's been brilliant. I'm grateful, just grateful. I'm living. I've not got this fear. I've not got the fear all the time.
Yeah.
I look forward to Mondays, look forward to Tuesdays, whatever it is. No, every day is brilliant. I have my ups and downs, but it's definitely been. It's just been great to feel alive again. That's all.
Yeah.
I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
Um,
I can resonate so much with that. So I stopped drinking in 2014, September 2014. So I think that's just gone past
yeah,
6 years. And like that, I'd gone through wee fits and starts of, right, I'm not drinking anymore. And then I would go back to it. And then I was I was on holiday in Ibiza, and I decided not to. We weren't going to any of the club nights, and I was like, the rest of the girls were going to the pub, and I was like, I can't really be bothered having a drink. I'm just going to have an early night and get up and go and watch the sunrise, because we always stayed at Bora Bora on the East Coast. So I had got up and went to watch the sunrise, and I'm sitting watching the sunrise, and I was like, oh, this is what it's about. Like, I don't want that part of my life anymore. I don't want the partying. I don't want the fear. I don't want the paranoia. I don't want the nausea for 4 days before I start to feel better. I don't want the night terrors anymore. And I just decided at that point, I was like, right, I'm not drinking anymore. And that was me. And nobody questioned me about it. Nobody tried to, oh, just have one drink, just have one drink. It was just like complete acceptance from everybody. But I was, like you're saying, just in such a place of, this is where I'm at, and nobody's going to change my mind about it. And
no,
it's like, nobody challenges me. Some people will ask questions like, oh, why do you not drink anymore? But I'm just like, just don't.
it's I think even that you just see new highs. The thing is for me, like I'm no even though I'm sober and I advocate being sober and the benefits and how it's helped me. I also still understand that people like a drink and can drink and can enjoy it. I'm not taking
Yeah.
that away from them. Like if somebody wants to drink and enjoy it, do it. Like I'm no one. Do you know what I mean? Like I think some
Uh-huh.
people think that
You're not judging them for it.
I've went out to we had before lockdown restrictions get a bit strict again, you were able to have like dinner. So we went out for like a group dinner for Nevis, and I was
Yeah.
the only person that didn't drink.
Mhm.
It was a group of younger guys, so it's like young Blair that I'd done the climb with, he's like 25, 26. So they're all like 10 years younger than me. So
Mhm.
fascinated by one, I didn't drink, but also what I used to be like. So that was quite good.
Yeah.
But never, we were kind of like pint, soda water, pint, pint. Like, it wasn't
It's not a big deal.
the night didn't go on and they went, "Are you sure you don't want to?" They just didn't. But I think, see, when you're quite firm with it, but no like mean, you just,
Aye.
somebody knows you're assuring yourself. They do, listen, you're just like, you don't need to be threatening, you don't need to be in, you just need to be a bit assured. And
And if you're coming across that you're still enjoying yourself, even though you've not had a drink, my pals all laugh at me. Like when we would go to club nights after I wasn't drinking, I would be still in the middle of the dance floor with my hand up in the air going for it, sweat dripping off me, and they would be like, and that's her way out.
exactly.
It's that essence of loving life and partying and that confidence that you look for from the drink. It's in there. You just need to give yourself that permission to let it out.
You really do. I think that's it. It's just that just let it out. Like when you hear music, you still hear like the tunes, certain dance songs that take me back to all the
Yeah.
times when I was really like probably out my dial. But I still feel that. You can still feel
Yes.
music, you can still dance, and it's kind of like once you just let go, that's you. And the only challenge it has been is when I've ever been like try to go on dates and do the whole Tinder thing, which I'm never doing again. Even that, like, see, hey, I'm not drinking. Oh man, it's just the correct, like, it's just the assumption. And I get it though that if somebody's been with somebody that's recovering and all this stuff, and but to just then think that that's what everybody's like, or
Yeah.
and not understand it, but then you know that that's just not your people. Like just like who
Yes.
your pals are, and that's okay as well because we all like what we like. So you're better off going out on a date with somebody that drinks in or not drinks.
Yeah.
It's quite straightforward for me.
Yeah.
That goes
It's
with
how much of, if like, say you were going on a date with somebody who still drinks, but that's not the essence of every night out that they have. Like they can still go on a night out without a drink or whatever. Then that could totally work. It's like you're not necessarily looking for somebody that's 100% sober as well. Although if they were, then that would be all right.
aye, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just comfortable to you. Aye, I just focus on my own business. My business
Yeah.
is my business. Other people's
Exactly.
business is their business. And the less I
Yeah.
know about them, the better.
It's like I like to not know about people, but also know everything about them
Like,
because people fascinate me. I'm just like, why do you think that way about stuff, and why? My mum said I was always dead curious as a small child. Like I would never just accept things as they were. I'd be like, but why? And I'm still, but why? Even in my 40s.
no, I do like that. It's good that you get actually you're interested in people for a good reason, like a
Mhm.
fashion. Um, I've met people like that. I think I'm a bit curious as well. When you hear there's people that I've got on Instagram that I follow, I quite like. Um, and then they post something, and you're like, I didn't know that about you. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, to
People are,
just find out all these wee nuggets of stuff. It's like, see, when we had the general election, whenever that was last year, the year before, and when you saw the results, I didn't feel like dismay or anger or anything. I was just like, I wonder what they were all thinking when they voted that way. But that's what, and I'm the same with when the US stuff's coming in. I'm like, I wonder what people believe about the world or about the person that they're voting for, what it is that they believe that makes them do that. That's what fascinates me. I don't care who you vote for or what that is, as long as you're doing no harm to people.
yeah.
It's what makes people tick like that. That just fascinates me and blows my mind. How
There's definitely people that will do it for like they understand it, so they really understand what they're doing, like how the impact or something. Or some people will vote because they think it's got to do something to their lives. I know that's kind of similar, but it's more like a heart in the head kind of thing. Like, I'm now at the stage where I'm just like, I'm not relying on politicians to make my life any better. I'll
Can't.
participate, need no participate, that's up to me, but I would rather see what I can personally do. And that's just how I'm going to go. I'm not thinking I can change the world, it's nothing like that. I just think in my me thing, whatever my output is, that's all I can control.
Yeah.
Only so much.
And they'll go and sit in their houses of parliament or wherever and have their conversations and do whatever they do, and you just kind of go, okay, carry on.
Leave them to it. That's what I would do.
So was it this year or last? Hold on, what year are we in? We're coming towards the end of 2020. I'm really confused. I thought it was nearer 2019 there for a moment. Okay, don't make us live through 2020 again.
That's fair enough.
I don't need to reverse that. So I saw on your Instagram as well that you had. Did you walk 100 with 100 people up Nevis over this last year, or?
No, that's what I want to do for next year.
You want to do for next year?
So we've had, I put it out there, it was around 160 people in 4 years. 1 year doesn't really count because the weather was meant to be like a thunderstorm, so we had to pull it, and five days went. But so you could technically say in 3 years we get about 160 people up and down.
Yeah.
And then obviously for one person doing like the 4, that was Ali first, and then the other people have done the 4, but then other people have done 2, and then triples. So you see how that's actually grown. The amount of people that's done more and more, and then the amount of people that's actually still walking are interested in it, and it's the after effect. That's what I'm after. I'm after the legacy of it. That's my thing. But so next year I want to try and get 100 people up there over the course of the year. So whether it's 20 people in February, March, whatever. And just,
are you putting that out as organised events that people sign up for, or just I'm going up a hill and saying, do you want to come with me?
Yes and no. That's been a journey in itself, figuring all that out for 4 years, because it's like, see when somebody, you don't want to kill anybody's dream, and see when you see somebody so enthusiastic about doing stuff, you don't want to say no, right? So part of me, it was sometimes, I wouldn't say I said no, but you're kind of like, you've never done any walking and you want to climb Nevis, like, I would suggest doing this, right?
Yeah.
But if you put that out to 100 people, a high percentage will probably go, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to try it anyway. So you're like, cool. And then a small percentage will actually hear it and go, I'll do a bit of training. Now, you can't knock the other people, because that would be essentially somebody going to me when I wanted to start a clothing brand. No, you can't do this, you don't know what you're doing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. So it goes against. My thing is just people's enjoyment of it, and knowing that with a wee bit of training you can build your legs up. So for example, I have climbed Nevis about 16 times in 4 years, right? So I would like to think I've got some understanding of it, and what I've found is that by focusing simply on building your strength going down the hill, that will help everything. Might seem a bit out there, but people are capable of climbing up. It's always a coming down. Always you're tired. Your legs will went a bit weak. You might not have the strength in your knees, etc., etc. And it happens. It's normal. It's even normal for me or anybody that's well trained, because you've just done half of something, so you've got to be a bit more tired. So as we go on, when I put things out there, you can go and do weir hills. So even if somebody isn't walking, usually that can help give them an indicator where they're at. If I hadn't done it, see me even now, so I've done Ben Ann a couple of times. If I went and done Nevis now, I'd be in bits. I'd be in more, guaranteed, more pain than I was when I done the 4. Because, do you know what I mean? So
because you're not conditioned for it just now.
That's it. It's just conditioning yourself, and it's just to enjoy it a bit better. And also as well, it's a good, I feel like, to train. It builds, so doing the training builds up your feet.
Yeah.
Also, it's good habits because you're used to going out and doing it. If you're used to just walking in miserable weather outside in your area, it's just like a housing estate, which I'm in, then get up to a nice hill. It can be a bit easier. So we will next year. There'll be more. There'll be a bit more thought behind it, but also it'll be a bit open to people. Uh,
Mhm.
and we just say, look, if this is at your own risk, then if you really want to do Nevis with no training, I can't stop you. But understand that this is what can happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I think people forget about the physiology of coming down a hill. The muscles activate in a different sequence. The strength needs to be totally different. So people might go out and go onto the stairmaster at the gym and climb and climb and climb and climb and climb. So either fine for getting up, but as soon as you turn and come back down, your glutes work different, your hamstrings work different, calves work different, the impact's different through the body. So that preparation for it is totally different.
yeah, it really is. You see, you said that. That's where I actually 2019. So last year's that was only we only done the fiveys because the thunderstorm. It actually
Yep.
turned out to be 20 degrees and I get sunburnt. But there you go. But
Scotland.
I know I can't. I should have known. And when you said there about the stairmaster, I was so I was far too cocky for it. I just thought I'll
Mm.
smash the stairmaster, do these bits, and then I'll get them down Nevis. That was hard.
Yep.
Because I didn't have the down bit. I could smash a stairmaster, like I was powering that thing. Like I climbed Nevis on that, like
Yeah.
but I didn't have the down bit.
Mhm.
Um, and also as well, the other wee thing is the whole mental aspect of it, the psychology of it. So if you're used to even getting up a wee challenging hill, but knowing that you can take like a 5 minute break and keep going, just knowing that that's possible, rather
Yes.
than just looking at Nevis or looking at something and going, I need to walk all the way up that without stopping, and that's it. Like there's no like it's as if that's the only option. So it's kind of like helping people understand that you can do these wee breaks and get up. And it's not that you can't do it; it's just the preparing people and the after effect.
Yeah.
Because if you're untrained and you go and climb something like that, you've got to be sore for a long time, like a good week or two.
Aye.
Um,
So I did Nevis not last summer, the summer before, and I hadn't really done very much for quite a while. And my partner, he plays handball and is very, very fit and very athletic. Likes to he'll just run. Like just today, he's like, oh, I'm just going to go away up a hill. So he's away up to somewhere away climbing a hill.
um,
So we were walking that together, but because he was much fitter than me at that point, he kept going away ahead, and then he'd sit and wait for me to catch up. But as soon as I'd get there, he'd start walking again. I'm like, oh, no, hold on a wee minute. You've just had a rest. Have not.
yeah,
I had to keep stopping. And as we're getting to the top, when you get towards the top and it goes into the zigzags, and I was looking at him, I was like, oh, fuck, when is this going to end? And one of the guys that was coming back down, he's like, it's all right, you're nearly there. And about half an hour later, somebody else said to me, it's all right, you're nearly there. And I'm like, somebody said that to me half an hour ago. Define what nearly there means, please.
you're closer to the top than you're to the bottom.
Aye, that's pretty much what it meant. But it was only after I was back down and I was looking at the map of it, I was like, oh, there's a certain number of zigzags. What I should have done was count that so that I knew I've only got so many more left to go. That next time,
There you go. I'll see you next year.
yeah, I should be well and fit enough to do it next year. Yeah,
It's unknown as well, but you can't fault people's effort. Like I've trained people over the years, and some people that it's society's views on what fit people look like is just not even it's not even right. Like I've
yeah,
seen people train that they might not have a six pack, but they train and they put the effort in. You see it and how they
yeah,
put and how they work within their level. So it doesn't matter if they are an athlete or a regular person. They're still working like hard, but putting that effort in, you can see it, and
yeah.
that should be celebrated. So
Mhm.
with the whole walking, I am for anybody doing it. I love it. I love seeing people out, even running, even trying to run. If they're walking, slow jog, or cycling, whatever. I'm just like on yourself. I just have
Yeah.
a trying to put the window down and go, keep on yourself. Like,
You'll be one of those people that toots the horn on the way past, but you're not doing it to be a creep, you're doing it to celebrate somebody.
you end up being like that, and somebody's like, what are you doing? Like, starting off.
They think it's being insincere when actually you're just like that. No, genuinely, I'm here to cheer you on.
Aye, exactly. That's it. It's good to cheer people on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Eh, um,
Any other tangents, any other avenues?
eh, I don't know. Maybe social media. We could
Yeah,
go, we could go for that, like the Instagram reality joke,
yeah.
and what is even the whole. There's so many things I think about it, like about when you think about followers, likes, etc., and doing things, and especially with Animala, I used to be so like focused on that, thinking that that's what I need to do to grow. But then I realised that it's your actual content or how you engage with somebody, or if you're actually making good products, like that's
Yeah.
that's kind of key. And you can get lost in the whole liking thing, and you get lost in who you are. And
Hmm.
I felt that more being who you are and just sticking to that is more beneficial. And I sometimes worry about folk with social media
Hmm.
because how they view it and how they view other people, and how it's like you're saying, it's just a highlight reel.
Yes.
But I found that seeing that and seeing, like, there was at one point, I think it was 2 years ago, and our Instagram was getting like 100,000 impressions a week. Like, that was bonkers, but never really equated to anything. Do you know?
If it doesn't equal money in the bank,
No.
then
I've
it
just
means nothing.
or anything like, and then found that just try, I don't know, engage in a certain way. But when I was wanting to talk about social media, I also thought about, like, when you're following people and how you're using it, and it's like I say this, and I don't know if people think I'm kidding on, but see, like, even myself, see if somebody followed me and was triggered by anything I said and didn't want to follow me, see if they unfollowed me, I genuinely wouldn't be annoyed or
Yeah,
upset. Like, it just is the way it is. And I think that we all should be able to think like that. It's all right
yeah.
to be like that.
And we should be encouraging people to unfollow us. Like, see if what I'm talking about triggers you or makes you feel less than yourself, then unfollow. Even if your intention as the person that's putting the post out, like when I put any post out, if I do any yoga stuff or anything, it's not to try and impress people, it's to try and encourage other people to do it. But if somebody looks at that and goes, oh, she's just shown off, going to unfollow me. Because if that's what you think my intention is, then you don't think very highly of me. So go away. I don't care.
Aye, exactly. I think like the stuff you're doing, that's your page. That's what you want to put out in the world. So
Yeah.
that's your business. If you
Mhm.
don't want to see your business, you don't look at it. And it's the same way, like, getting. I don't follow the news that much. Like, I don't follow a lot of things that do trigger me, because I don't want to be triggered all the time. Like, I
Yeah.
know what can flip me off, and I just don't want to be in it. And if people are complaining a lot what's out there, and stop following it. I
Yeah.
think that it really is that simple. It's no, and yes, you make adverts in your face, fair enough, right? But you can still minimise things. So I
You
think
can
that,
scroll past it. There's
couldn't you?
nothing says that you have to stop and engage with this post.
No.
So I'll every now and again, because obviously Instagram works with their algorithm, so whatever they think that you should be seeing, they show you. And sometimes I'll be like, God, I've not seen such and such's posts for ages. So then I'll go away and I'll find them, and then I'll like and I'll comment on a few of their posts just to bring it back on to my news feed. Because a lot of people don't understand like how the algorithm and stuff like that works. When you've got it for your business, it kind of is worthwhile to have a better understanding of it.
Yeah.
But then when have you watched The Social Dilemma?
Aye, aye.
Yeah, so when you watch that, I watched it knowing everything that they were talking about. I was like, I know that that's what they do, I know that that's what they do. But then when you hear it out of the developers' mouths, you're like, that the bastards. They've got me. So I try and not have my phone, like my phone's always on silent, the vibrate switched off. I leave it face down. I did miss my mum dropping off biscuits at my house yesterday because she phoned to see if I was in, and I didn't see that the phone was ringing. And then when I did pick my phone up and looked at it, I was like, oh, but I'm in. You should have rang the doorbell.
That'd have been a good job. Can't beat some biscuits.
But it's that just how the whole system's set up to have you addicted to it so that they make money. And when you realise that, you're like, oh, right, so I need to do things to protect myself to be able to break that addiction so that I'm not so stuck to the mentalness of it.
Yeah, and it's that whole the buzz you get when you get things, when you get a like or whatever it is, and I've found that I just like just even wee conversations. That's what I like. So even if it's one wee conversation or I randomly sometimes get messages for people I know, but you don't really see them on your page. I've realised that as well, that it's kind of like there'll be people that are watching and you could have positive or negative influence, whatever that is, and they might not engage. So there is like a wee bit out there, and then sometimes somebody will send you a message. Just to like, I got a guy messaged me about supporting like the beard, talking about the beard. Had a wee discussion about that, and there's been other times where it's whether to do with men's health or whether it's just other things. You get some people that will just talk.
Aye.
It's quite nice, and that's what I like about it, like that wee bit. Just as well, I do that. If I see things and I think, oh, well done, I'll just tell them, like girl or guy, I'll just say that. I use that. I try and I don't have any, I don't know, fear of doing that. Like I think just reach out and say, aye, that's cool. I'm not looking for anything. You don't need to send back.
Aye. There's no agenda behind it. It's just
going, well, that's cool. Try to use it for me. And there has been times where you want to like respond to things, no really mine or other things. You see it and you just like, I don't want to get into an argument before I go over the internet. Because it's too draining. It's just not my.
Aye. And people sometimes forget that they're speaking to a person because they're just texting it in. And it's like, would you say that to that person if you could see their face?
Aye, exactly. Aye, keyboard warriors are the best. They really are. Especially the ones without a picture. That's even funnier.
Yeah.
They don't really mean that. I did have a few through Animalia. And it was actually, I wouldn't even say anything, but my mum's friend seen it. So it was on a live video. I don't know if it was about a year ago or what it was, but this person just went, I hope you get cancer, to me. And but there was no picture, there was no thingy, and I was just like, it's a cracking thing to say, mate. Cheers for that. It's just like cool. And it's all right with it. But my pals, she told my mum, I think she was a bit worried. I'm just like, Mum, just honestly, like, because she knows my background and where I've been mentally, and maybe a comment like that will send me. Now, it's not a nice comment, but I'm far better now, and how I live and how I take things on, that's I can be like, right, it's a faceless person who's no doing well, and that's how they feel. Like that's how but I can imagine in a grand scale when you're getting that all the time, it's not going to be. But I think we can develop. We're still only human, but you can develop that bit of resilience against it. But it's still going to affect, especially on a large scale. I don't think there's any need for it. There's folk out there that do things, and even like influencers, different kind. And I might not agree with what they say, but I'm not going to sit and message cruel things to them.
Aye, you just scroll past it.
Aye. I think that's when we need to take some responsibility there as well for our actions. Rather than, oh no, but I'm saying all this stuff because they posted that. Well, that doesn't make it all right.
Aye. Just because it's triggered you and it's triggered an emotion or a past trauma or something that's making you be reactive rather than responsive.
Reactive, that's a good one. Reactive instead of responsive. I like that.
Because I'm on fire today. I'm just a walking meme.
You just look at that before somebody nicks it.
I think I've actually written it in my book. I think I have actually penned that one somewhere recently.
That is a belter. Aye.
So, talking of social media, what handles do you want people to follow you on if they're listening, thinking that they want to check out what you're saying and doing in the world?
Well, probably the cooler one is Animalia Apparel. You could look at me and Tony. I don't know what I'm. Tony Owen, 85. My pal thought that said Tony Onion. He started calling me Tony Onion because of that. Animalia Apparel. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We've got Animalia CIC, so you can find us there. That we'll start putting a lot more stuff through that.
Yeah.
And then check us out online. We've got www.animaliaapparel.co.uk and www.animaliacic.co.uk.
I'll put the links to all of them in the show notes so that people can just go and find it there.
Aye, you can see what we're up to.
Check out your kit.
Aye, check out the kit, check out what we get up to.
Yeah, find out if they're desperate to go and climb Nevis, find out when you're next doing it so they can join in, but train first.
We'll put that in. Come out to training, we can. I was going to say I'll give something, but if everybody said that, I'd be giving a lot of stuff away. But aye, make an incentive to train.
Yeah, can think of something. Just the joy of health and fitness. You can't really.
I would say that. I don't know if that's what everybody would like. That was my incentive. Like to go on a cold water dip to feel free. There's not a lot of people that will do it to feel free. They probably need some money to jump in.
Yeah, to get you there the first time, and then when you feel it, you go, "That was actually pretty good." I did the cold water dip in New Year's Day this year down in Irvine.
Nice one.
And I didn't realise that it was a charity event. I only decided that I was doing it on New Year's morning. It's like, right, let's go. We're going down. But people were there raising money for charity, so we just did it and went in the sea and then came straight back out. It was fresh. It was fresh.
We done Helensburgh, so you jump off the pier.
Mm-hmm.
It was all at different ages. There was some kids doing it and everything. We done that, and you're just in and out, but that was fresh. We also had a good walk. The walk helped, I think, warmed us up a bit, but I want to do that again, but I don't know if it'll be on. So
yeah, I don't know if anything's happening this Christmas and New Year.
Make my own man up.
There'll be loads of people just turning up at lochs and down at the seafronts just to go and do it themselves. And then the Coast Guard will be getting called out anyway because people have gone and done it themselves. Whereas at least if they organised it, the Coast Guard can be there to be ready.
That's a good shout, by the way.
I know. Full of wisdom, me.
Well, you really are.
Right, I am going to let you go. Get on with the rest of your day. So thank you so much for being on the podcast.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
My absolute pleasure.
Memes, getting it there.
It'll go out on Monday. This Monday coming. So I'll download it and edit it. Do you want to listen to it before we put it out?
No, go for it. No, it was great.
What about the video? Are you okay for me to put the video out on YouTube as well?
Yeah, that's fine. Huh?
Sweet. All right, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Jane.
All right. Take care, and I will tag you on social when this goes out.
Magic. Thanks again. Have a good day.
My pleasure. You too. Bye.